Here's how you're going to remember the polyatomic ions that are going to involve oxygen. Not every single one that exists, but a good number of them. So Nick the camel, this is a mnemonic device, Nick the camel ate a clam for supper in Phoenix. Weird sentence, but that's how you're going to remember it. And I actually still use this literally. So Nick has the first letter being N. So this is going to be a nitrogen atom. So N is the nitrogen, but this is a polyatomic, which means more than one atom. So it's not just nitrogen with a charge, it's nitrogen with some other stuff, and that other stuff is oxygens. Here's how you know how many oxygens there are. You're going to count the number of consonants in that word. So you plop down the first letter, N for nitrogen, you count the number of consonants, N, C, and K, there's going to be 3 oxygens. But these are polyatomic anions, meaning they are negatively charged. How much negative charge? That's the number of vowels in the word. NO3 minus, that's the nitrate ion. So you can write down the term nitrate. How do you know it's nitrate and not nitride, which is N3 minus? Well, these are polyatomic ions that are going to end in 8 because he ate the clam. So that's how you can remember that they're all going to end in 8. Let's do camel. Camel is C-A-M-E-L. We have a C here, so we're going to put a C right there. How many oxygens? Count your number of consonants. So that's going to be 3 oxygens. How many vowels are in the word? A and E, that means there's a 2 minus charge. This is not carbide or carbonide. This is carbon, but since he ate the clam, this is the carbonate ion. Seashells and antacid tablets and all sorts of stuff. Carbonate. Next, we have clam. There's only one tiny exception here, which is the Cl is your clue that this is chlorine. So it's going to be Cl. You still got to count your number of oxygens, so that's Clm. There are 3 consonants, so there are 3 oxygens. And the number of the charge overall, there's 1 vowel, so there's a -1 charge. This particular thing is called chlor. Now, table salt is sodium chloride, but this is not chloride. Chlorine is just Cl. If it had Cl with a minus charge, but no oxygens, you would call that the chloride ion. But this is not the chloride ion, this is the chlorate ion, because he ate the clam. It's a completely different compound. You don't want to get them mixed up. They are different. Actually, I'm going to take a break real quick and draw out nitrate so you can understand what a polyatomic anion is. So nitrogen is actually blue, so I'm going to use blue here. So if I were to draw a nitrogen atom based on the normal color conventions, I've got a blue atom that represents nitrogen. And notice how I have 3 oxygen atoms. Now, by color convention, oxygen atoms are typically represented as red. And I'm going to draw 3 of them. And overall, this entire package, this entire set of NO3s has an overall minus charge. But that's what it means to be a polyatomic oxy anion. Now let's do supper. Supper starts with S, so we can put down an S here. Now we can count the number of oxygens. 1, 2, 3, 4 consonants, so it's SO4. There are 2 vowels, the U and the E, so this is the SO4 2 minus. We would call this sulfate. Sulfate is SO4 2 minus. It is not the same as sulfide, which is just S2 minus. And then lastly, we've got Phoenix. If you use this mnemonic device, please make sure you spell Phoenix correctly. If you forget the O, you're not going to get it right. So just put down the P first. Count the number of oxygens, which is the number of consonants in the mnemonic device. So P, H, N, and X. That's PO4. And of course, there are 1, 2, 3 vowels. So that's going to be a charge of 3 minus. And this is not the phosphide ion. He ate the clam, so this is the phosphate ion. So that's how you can remember the polyatomic ions. This is the basic ones. I will give you a few extras in the next video.